My name is John Parker Hammond. I was born on March 14th, 1928. What follows is a record of certain events in which I took part between the years 1980 and 1997 on an island I will call Site B. Site B was not to be a theme park, but a research station. This was where we did the real work. By 1989, international genetic technologies had succeeded in their design to genetically recreate the dinosaurs. It was an unprecedented accomplishment, the pinnacle of 20th century science, a work to rank with the achievements of Galileo or Einstein. But it was not always so easy or so simple as it appeared. One seldom hears the true history of such events. What happened at the place where the world changed? How it began? What were the reasons? What was the cost? A Nobel Prize or a financial empire waits somewhere in a darkened room, in a dirty, derelict building, somewhere in the Pacific. It was the flowering of an ambition born 50 years ago. 50 years' struggle come to this. When I was little, I dreamed of a time when the entire world was covered by an ancient forest. Great hunters stalked in the cool darkness, among silent, huge columnar trees, oaks and sequoias. I left home at 15 with a rather romantic idea of seeking my fortune. I remember the train ride south, in my best clothes, eating an apple, the entire world before me. When I came to London, I had neither fortune, nor education, nor connections. Nothing. The mysterious John Hammond, shady investor, multimillionaire, jovial mad scientist. An idea brought me awake one morning in New York. I almost didn't write it down. What if a mosquito sucked the blood of a dinosaur 100 million years ago? The insect is then covered in tree sap, which over the millennia, becomes amber. The insect is preserved perfectly. But you see, and here's the clever part, wouldn't the dinosaur blood be preserved as well? The blood holds DNA. A tiny spiral of genetic code. Abracadabra. sunlight angled down through the dusty air in Norman's office, and I leaned against a solid oak table as I outlined my plans for international genetic technologies. The first task was genetic recovery, acquiring Jurassic or Cretaceous amber, extracting preserved DNA and reassembling the complete sequences. Bringing it up the well, we called it. I spared no expense, permitted no failures. If we succeeded, the InGen technology would be historic. We were planning to conquer time's power over life, its power to extinguish and erase. It would change all our lives, as profoundly, as irrevocably as the atomic bomb. Isla Sorna. Costa Rica lay to the east, a quiet neighbor, to the west, open water and the shipping lanes of the Pacific. "1981. I stumbled out of the helicopter, already beginning to sweat, and looked around at the lush forest, the wet leaves. A forest this wild, this unknown, has not been seen by any human since the great hunters of the early Pliocene. The forest smelled of wet leaves, damp earth, rotting wood. Cameras and seismic instruments in yellow crates. They set them in the dust as the helicopter rose. A few weeks after we landed, we went to the summit to put up a crude satellite link. We went by helicopter. Young technicians scrambled to set up the dish as the wind howled. High-speed uplink. State of the art. In May, the rains came. The smell of the jungle was everywhere. The jungle canopy hung over us. There was an utter silence. Far away I could hear a jeep engine idling. InGen standard safari vehicle, state of the art. As I journeyed south along the coast, the air grew moist and heavy. Metal and concrete lay rotting in the sun and the rain. A failed coffee plantation of the 1860s. Fields were marked out by stone walls, and to the west the ruins of the plantation house still stand. The buildings followed a scheme I only vaguely understood, marking seasons and the lunar year and the movement of the stars. The sky at noon was like nothing in Europe. Hot, tropical, and new world. On the plain, the heat was extraordinary, like a solid wall. I stepped out of the jeep and stretched my legs. The two guards attended to the wheel, and just for an instant I stood alone, unprotected in the Jurassic wilderness. I felt the air currents around me, heard a single tree rustle.